Brandon Miller has been amazing so far throughout his rookie season. As of today, he is the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for the second time this season. And through the month of February, he averaged 20.5 points on 45% shooting from the floor, along with nearly 5 rebounds per game. In total on the season, he's averaging nearly 17 points on fair shooting splits. I think the best thing about him has been his three-point shooting, where he's nearly putting down 38% of his attempts from downtown. And I don't think he's gotten a ton of attention this season, which I can kind of understand. For one, Wemby is the most hyped prospect since LeBron, and he's putting up 20 and 10 night in and night out, and also leading the league in block shots. And a lot of the other guys in that all-rookie first-team conversation have been contributors on actual contending teams. For example, Chet has been playing super well in his first year for the Thunder, who are one of the best teams in the NBA. And then Brandin Podziemski hasn't been super statistically impressive, but he's contributing at a high level on a Warriors team that's starting to find their stride. And all of this is happening while Miller's playing very well on a struggling Hornets team. And struggling is an understatement. They've been consistently bad after showing a ton of promise back in 2022, where they made the play-in tournament. And their follow-up to that has been pretty pitiful. Last season, they were one of the worst teams in the league, and it's been that way again this season, even worse. And we could point to a number of things. For one, Lamelo only played 36 games last season, and he's only played 22 this year after being named as an all-star back in 2022. Then there was the whole Miles Bridges situation, where he missed all of last season after showing some good basketball strides since his rookie year. And there were some other pieces that I was excited about. I was excited to see what Mark Mitchell could do this season after showing some great flashes last year, but he's only played in 19 games this year due to back issues. So who knows? Maybe it's this thing where if Charlotte was actually healthy, they'd be a better team than what they've been over the last 2 years. But now it really feels like this franchise is in a spot to where they're really unsure about what direction they want to go in the future. Miles Bridges' future here is in question. And the reality is that there have been some questions on whether or not Lamelo Ball is actually their future franchise player, given his injury history and also his generally inefficient play when he has been healthy over the last few years. But Brandon Miller has been a beacon of hope for this team. Not only has he shown some very solid two-way flashes, but he's also shown some major leadership qualities in just his first season. And that is what separates a young team stuck in quote-unquote rebuilding territory versus a young team that sees success. Team culture. Look at OKC. Talent-wise, I love them, but traditionally, this is not a top 3 Western Conference team. But they embraced a playing style that works, and there is a great collective mindset and culture on this team that's leading them towards consistent success this year. Same with the Magic out east. They aren't as good as OKC, but they've embraced an identity along with some great team defense that's given them consistency this season as well. So maybe Brandon Miller can be the start of that here in Charlotte. Not saying LaMelo can't be that type of player. This is no diss on LaMelo at all, but Brandon's shown some great leadership qualities that can be the start of a culture shift here in Charlotte, which is going to be very important for this team as they're going to continue to stay in this rebuilding territory till they figure out what works. And then there's the basketball stuff. He is literally built like a future superstar player. 6'7", can handle the ball very well at that height, has upside as an elite shooter with some flashes as a really good playmaker from the small forward position. He has all of the tools of a future top 5 player in this league, and he's got the ideal base skill set for a guy of that caliber. And when LaMelo does come back, I like that he's got that type of game where he can play as well off the ball as he can being a primary ball handler. And one thing about him and Wemby is that you can literally see those two get better through the course of this season as they've gotten more comfortable. So the game looks like it's slowing down for Brandon, and he looks like a future offensive force in this league. And knocking on wood, let's say the LaMelo experiment ends up getting to a dead end here in Charlotte. Brandon Miller is still here as a future franchise cornerstone player. And I'm not trying to push LaMelo out of Charlotte. He's still a hell of a player, but the upside Miller has should leave Hornets fans with a ton of optimism for the future. So while this season has been an ugly one for the Hornets, there is something to be excited about for years to come with the way Brandon Miller is playing. And who knows, if he gets fully healthy again and we can finally see a season where LaMelo's back to playing 65 to 70 games, this could end up being one of the league's best young 1-2 punches. Only time will tell, but shout out to B. Miller. He's making his name heard across the league, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon.